should have known better. I could have done it differently. I would have helped, but I had no idea.
3 tiny phrases, but each one carries a completely different emotion. Should've is guilt. Could've is possibility. Would've is blocked intention.
By the end of this episode, you'll know exactly which one matches what you're feeling, and you'll sound completely natural using them.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Mindful English. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Liam. It's wonderful to have you listening today.
Liam, have you ever been lying in bed at night, replaying something you said or did earlier, and you just think, ugh, I should have done that differently?
All the time. Like last week, I was complaining to a friend about missing a deadline. I kept saying, I should have started earlier. I could have finished on time. And she just looked at me and said, shoulda, woulda, coulda.
That phrase, shoulda, woulda, coulda. It's the ultimate way native speakers tell you to stop dwelling on the past. Let it go.
But here's the thing. For English learners, should have, would have, and could have are incredibly confusing. They all sound similar when you say them fast. They all refer to the past, but they express completely different feelings and intentions.
And if you mix them up, you can accidentally sound guilty when you meant to sound neutral, or you can sound like you're making excuses when you're trying to take responsibility.
So today, we're breaking them down completely. After this episode, you'll know exactly when to use each one. You'll understand the emotion behind them, and, most importantly, you'll know how to pronounce them naturally, the way native speakers actually say them in conversation.
We're going to look at should've, the grammar of guilt and regret. Could've, the grammar of possibility and missed opportunities. And would've, the grammar of blocked intention. These are what we call the grammar of hindsight.
Hindsight is when you look back at a situation after it's already happened, and suddenly everything becomes clear. Oh, now I understand what I should have done.
And we'll show you how native speakers mash these words together in fast speech. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. So you sound completely natural. Let's jump into the time machine.
Let's start with the heaviest one, should've. This is the contraction for should have.
This is the grammar of guilt, regret, and mistakes. When you use should've, you're looking back at the past and judging your own actions. You're basically saying, I made the wrong choice, and I know it now.
Right. Imagine you're exhausted at work today. Last night, you stayed up until 2 a.m. watching Netflix, even though you knew you had an early meeting. Now you can barely keep your eyes open, and you're suffering the consequences. You might say to yourself, I'm so tired. I should have gone to bed earlier.
You're scolding yourself. You're taking responsibility for a bad decision. There's a weight to this word. It carries guilt and regret.
We also use it to criticize or scold other people. If your friend shows up an hour late to dinner without texting, you might say, you should have called me. I was waiting here alone. It means they made a mistake. They broke a social rule, and you're unhappy about it.
Now, the interesting thing about should've is that even though the feeling is heavy, the pronunciation is incredibly light and soft.
That's right. Native speakers almost never say should have clearly with the H and V sounds. The H disappears completely. The V softens. Should have becomes should've. One smooth sound. And in fast, casual conversation, it melts even further into shoulda.
I shoulda told you. I shoulda known better. I shoulda called. It sounds like one quick word flowing together. The pronunciation is soft and relaxed, even when the emotion behind it is heavy and serious.
So if you want to sound natural, don't overpronounce it. Don't say, I should have known. That sounds too formal, almost robotic. Just let it flow. I should have known.
And this is so universal, right? Every culture has this experience of looking back and thinking, I made a mistake. That's why should've is one of the most common phrases in English. It captures that specific feeling of wishing you could rewind time and make a different choice.
Here are some classic should've moments. I should have studied for the exam. I should have saved more money. I should have listened to my gut feeling. I should have been more careful.
All of those carry the same emotion: regret and self-blame. Now let's move to a lighter word: could've. This is the contraction for could have. And this is where a lot of learners get confused because they think it's the same as should've, but it's not.
Not at all. Should've is about guilt and bad decisions, but could've is just about possibility and options. It's much more neutral. You're simply saying, this was an option available to me, but I chose something else.
For example, imagine your friend asks, "Why didn't you come to the party last night?" You could say, "I could have gone, but I decided to stay home and read instead." There's no guilt here. There's no regret. It was just a choice you made, and you're fine with it.
Exactly. Could've explores alternate realities. It's like opening a door and peeking into a different version of your life. What if I had chosen differently? But you're not beating yourself up about it. You're just acknowledging the possibility existed.
Another example: I could have taken the train, but I decided to drive. Or, I could have ordered the pasta, but I chose the salad. These are simple choices with no emotional weight attached.
But here's my favorite use of could've, and this is something native speakers do all the time. We use it to express relief when something bad almost happens but doesn't.
Oh, yes. Like when you're walking down the stairs carrying a stack of dishes and you trip slightly but manage to catch yourself. Your heart races for a second, but nothing breaks. You take a deep breath and say, "Wow, that could have been a disaster."
That could have been worse. That could have been a disaster. That could have ended badly. We use this phrase constantly. It means the potential for something terrible was there, but you got lucky and escaped it.
Or imagine you're in a minor car accident, just a tiny scratch on your bumper. Nobody's hurt, and the damage is minimal. You might say to the other driver, "Well, thank goodness everyone's okay. It could have been much worse." You're acknowledging that the situation had the potential to be catastrophic, but it wasn't.
There's almost a sense of gratitude in this use of could've. Like, I dodged a bullet. It could have been bad, but I'm safe.
Another common phrase: it could have happened to anyone. This is what you say when someone makes an understandable mistake. You're being compassionate, showing that the situation was tricky and anyone could have made the same error.
Don't be so hard on yourself. You forgot your wallet. It could have happened to anyone.
So, could've is lighter and more neutral than should've. It's about options, possibilities, and alternate realities, not about mistakes and guilt. You're not judging yourself. You're just observing what could have been.
Finally, we reach would've. This is the contraction for would have. We touched on this in a previous episode when we talked about imagination and hypothetical situations, but let's compare it directly to the other two today.
Would've is the grammar of blocked intention. This is when you had the desire, the plan, or the willingness to do something, but external reality stopped you. There's always an invisible but attached to this phrase.
That's the perfect way to describe it. I would have helped you move, but I didn't know you needed help. I would have brought you coffee, but the shop was closed. I would have called you back, but my phone died.
When you use would've, you're defending your character. You're saying, "Look, I'm a good person. My intention was good. My heart was in the right place. But circumstances beyond my control prevented me from following through."
It's not your fault. Something external blocked you. Maybe you lacked information. Maybe you lacked time. Maybe you lacked resources. But the key point is, you wanted to do the right thing.
Here's a perfect example. Imagine your friend is upset because you didn't attend her birthday party. You might say, "I'm so sorry. I would have been there, but I had a family emergency." You're explaining that your absence wasn't about not caring. It was about circumstances.
Compare that to, I should have been there. That one sounds like you're taking full responsibility and admitting you made a bad choice. But I would have been there shifts the blame to external factors.
Exactly. Would've protects your reputation. It says, don't judge me. I tried.
Now let's put all three together in one scenario so you can really feel the difference in emotion. Imagine you failed an important test. Here's how each phrase changes the meaning.
I would have studied. This is blocked intention. You wanted to study. You planned to study. You were ready to study. But something stopped you. Maybe the power went out. Maybe you got sick. Maybe there was a family emergency. Your intention was good, but you were prevented from following through.
Do you see how powerful that distinction is? Same situation, failing a test, but three completely different stories about what happened and whose fault it is.
Guilt with should've, option with could've, blocked intention with would've.
Once you understand the emotion behind each one, you'll never mix them up again. You'll be able to choose the exact phrase that matches what you're feeling.
Let's pause and review the key expressions from today's conversation. We're going to give you 6 phrases you can start using right away to talk about the past with the right emotion.
First, the classic regret phrase, I should have known. You say this when you realize a mistake that seems obvious now in hindsight. You're kicking yourself for not seeing it earlier. Example, he lied to me again. I should have known he would do that. The signs were all there.
Second, the relief phrase. It could have been worse. You say this to find the positive side of a bad situation, to express gratitude that things didn't turn out even more terrible. Example, we lost the game 3-2, but nobody got injured. It could have been worse.
Third, the defense phrase. I would have, but... You use this to explain why you didn't do something you intended to do. It protects your character and shifts responsibility to external circumstances. Example, I would have brought you lunch, but the restaurant was closed today.
Fourth, the vocabulary word, hindsight. This means understanding a situation clearly only after it has already happened. You see the truth looking backward, but you couldn't see it at the time. Example, in hindsight, quitting that toxic job was the best decision I ever made.
Fifth, the native idiom, shoulda, woulda, coulda. You say this to tell someone to stop dwelling on the past and let it go. It's a way of saying, we can't change what happened, so there's no point in obsessing over it. Example, stop worrying about the interview. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. It's over now. Focus on the next one.
And sixth, a bonus phrase. If I could've, I would've. This is what you say when someone questions why you didn't do something, and you want to make it clear that you absolutely would have done it if circumstances had allowed. Example, why didn't you come to the wedding? If I could've, I would've. But I was stuck overseas because of the flight cancellation.
That last one is a beautiful combination of 2 of our phrases, and native speakers use it all the time to show they really, truly wanted to do something.
So here's your homework. Think about one thing from this past week that you keep replaying in your mind. Something you wish had gone differently. Something that's been bothering you.
Ask yourself, do I feel guilty about it? Then it's a should've. Was it just a choice I made? Then it's a could've. Did I have good intentions but got blocked? Then it's a would've.
Practice saying it out loud. Really say it. I should have been more patient. I could have handled that better. I would have explained myself, but there wasn't time. Get comfortable with the sound of these phrases coming out of your own mouth.
And then, after you've expressed it and named the feeling, take a deep breath and say, shoulda, woulda, coulda. Let it go. Release it. The past is the past.
And drop a comment below. Tell us one should've, would've, or could've moment from your week. We'd love to hear your stories, and it's fantastic practice writing in English. Plus, reading other people's comments is a great way to see these phrases used in real contexts.
And if this episode helped you finally understand the difference between these confusing modals, share it with a friend who's learning English. Seriously, everyone struggles with these at first. Your friend will thank you.
For more episodes like this that break down confusing grammar with emotion and real-life context, not just dry textbook rules, check out our previous episodes. We've covered everything from conditionals to phrasal verbs to the subtle differences between will and going to.
We should have made this episode years ago. But hey, better late than never, right?
Nice one. Very smooth.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll see you in the next episode.
Bye!
Stop thinking, start training with Mindful English.